Grandmaster Mrs. did not have not puzzled. That young and beautiful Kota Hirasakiko is. It was just so calm. And what was the one who firmly taken aback in how you say you try to use this corpse? I hide. Tonight's event is to be was not at all. Otherwise, is not that ruin you? So, I'd like to ask the C's secretary. Brought from where is Futari of youth have Rashi Su happened? What only do the original person? Quote. Also see if Tomoko Ninomiya, while surprised to snabby the mouth of the crisis the way of this man I was picked up in Asakusa. It is glass song nurses walk by passing the bar. Of course, not in the know, to find by chance, because the strength and good physique so. I tried to hit, then, to reward eyes as me. This person was immediately aware of, quote, that you have come here. Does this person is the fellow know? No, I do not know. When I was talking about when only, then, when it should not say to anyone to come here. I've been tanning etc. Hard mouth, even before the earlier fight begins. A sense it pushes the oil. But now I asked, and did not tell anyone. Had clearly answer. In the name of what you wear to live. Kobayashi. I called Shoji, but I'm from Kyushu, and died both parents. In Tokyo as the youth of relatives there is no single of alone in a simple inn that Asahiya of peaks and valleys of the other side of the Asakusa. Along with fellow it was to say that he is staying. Quote, I am glass song nurse anymore alone white towards the youth. No, the two of you do not know at all to each other. That young man is a sandwich man that has come out in Ginza, wearing the face of papier match. From walking with a placard, to me a friend's coffee shop invitation yelling at you wearing a story. This was also aware immediately. I called Inoue. People better was a little forgotten. About herself also do not know the details. But Akikabawa care that the person is. I'll not put in your corner. A young man with an attractive futari also get nanti. Always. Will Irasharu walking ransack the AAU of Sakiko if you were those serving is calm and composed even when such. Grandmaster also Ninomiya wife was also deeply more and more surprised. In that pretty Kota Hirasakiko was enough to be suspected of tonight as something of the fineness possessed. Come to think of it, tone of voice of Sakiko also was felt as different from the usual. All is your Kota Hirasakiko-san. Grandmaster as I asked ish anxiety. Knows the scapegoat. Edge you substitute. The leader and Ninomiya wife, as scaring, was to dodge only from near the involuntarily. You take me undercover. It is also a decoy you. In this kind of case, more of the real faces you can talk seriously. Lady say so. Removed the bizarre undercover which was wearing comfortably from my head. Came out from among them. Somewhere Kota Hira was the beautiful face similar to Sakiko. Had looked good and different. You, who on earth? Grandmaster Haruki Mrs. was built the voice of fear. I can, yes, you will be referred to as a silhouette. Is a man like a shadow? Edge, I a man? Cry of astonishment from the mouth of Futari of Mrs. Hatabashi. Lol lol. Matter of fact I'm a man of cheating Kota Hiras. Garbled in Kota Hira-san. I come to look ye interesting play. No, never making any worry. The eye you have it is an ally. For you. You're with the intention pitch it and help. If you did not come to me instead of Kota Hiras, tonight of the incident, in the power of only you have. Also how it would not have been possible. Indeed I was happy. Because I if it is it. Quote. Needless to say, it was a Kageotoko was garbled in Sakiko Kota Hira. Itsa. Well then, you'd probably know even me our real name. Hey, Ninomiya-san. If this happens, let's take the S. Undercover there are no more ways. In the words of the leader, the two of removal of the mask at the same time. Depori fat Haruki Mrs. face was familiar with a photograph, such as a magazine. In self-indulgent pleasure Mrs. Hertz 50 years of age. It is really a woman bossed out. Tomoko Ninomiya is 35. Self-indulgent pleasure beauty visible to 6 years old. Also from before the arm that has been sought out good young man of that futari. Was sash extent of its day-to-day life. In you, and to what way, do you would like to help me us? Haruki wife had returned to take a truly calm. Then, Futaratomo. In this mysterious transvestite of handsome, is a state that began held a fierce curiosity. We must create a first of all you of alibi. Even if this meeting place do not know anyone. Because although you are widely known as that was not he in your house tonight. To hide it is. Well, you could do that. The futari wife, right in front of transvestite men, have looked somewhat like a witch. Reverse of alibi. I is not anything. Young man that this Shoji Kobayashi is. Alive until tomorrow. I hope if you decide to become tomorrow go example unknown. And, ye, tomorrow throughout the secret not the behavior. When you say if making the alibi. Such as may also be the answer being heard. It is not transferred to tomorrow incidents from tonight. Quote, the wizard silhouette is began to refer to more and more strange things. I transferred to tomorrow incidents. Will it be able such a good? I can if to me. Now I will be applied to your eyes because of its tanami. I guess there is phone on. Is room that have gathered of you. Well, does not matter it. I to the room saying. You call a doctor on the phone. Everyone is listening to the mouth. Such as calling a doctor's acquaintance. Matter of fact I sweethearts call my confidant of subordinates. I made breakfast about such your play. His men, magic tricks is to become of the species. He comes also have such necessary tools. No and are not your guide. Please be ye not remain here until then. Any building is the same thing as his own residence. There is no never things like mistake the room. Quote, and so good leaving. Silhouette of transvestite, when again wear a masked. Disappeared quickly corridor. Then in less than 20 minutes, the young man referred to as a doctor arrived lower the big bag. Hayashi a small mustache, wearing glasses, wearing a sober business suit. Was the man seems to really doctor. Kageotoko is immediately guided him to the basement. Was Hakia Waseda futari of his wife, who was waiting in there. Although I have a lot of subordinates, this is one of them. To Kobayashi young man is dead here. Is a man that resembles the most back cuckoo in face immediately. When the comparer said so, a man called the doctor, and the corpse of Kobayashi youth. The outline of the face is very similar. First of all, the people who are above must be brought back to the house. The results of this doctor examination, Kobayashi youth is to say that it was revealed that abandoning the life. I kiss reassured, of course a lie, but the confreres in Inoue youth of the party knows that Kobayashi is dead. Things have torn because Imoto. Keep it if you do. We only remaining. The second stage one undertake to means. No, there is no never afraid it. Also you guys. You toe cushion as I see in now. Come on, Mr. Haruki. Go to the top. Tell everyone that Kobayashi's okay please let me pull taken tay. Then, in the conference, the addition of tomorrow openly errands. Do not go out. Please I fukume like being in the house. However, such is that of alibi. It should not be confided by. When such as Kobayashi's condition worsens. You want it to say it's because there's a need for us. Come on. Please be early. Quote, I do not know meat is still good. There is no addition to the as you say. Well, but I'm going. Prize of Doren tonight. You must still do it. Then, everyone's bed also. Please do. Not equal and to cause a doubt. I guess the errand is ready for money. Of course you yes available. We are not to be dangerous Nanti at a later date to pay. Then, Haruki but Mrs. went up to the top alone. Have been eventually back to say that was attributed to everyone. So, this from you, including the work of the second stage. On why not room such that the restroom. There is a mirror and a wash basin room. Futari with me, this guy is. You go to for a while the room. As before, let's raise the Kobayashi of the corpse up in the futari. Then, Kobayashi wearing head clothes. Somewhere in the top of the room the old triad is put. Because that is for the clothes came on. Ninomiya-san, please keep in putting it to us of shut yourself restroom. I also had and shoes. Quote, keep in the so orders. And of its subordinates Kageotoko. From the keep carrying the corpse of Kobayashi youth in a room above. Was confined a cosmetic basin. Futari of Mrs. Sitting on the deserted sitting area of the chair. Had postponed the anxiety face. 15 minutes or would only have been suddenly open the door of the drawing room. Went the one man, Futari of Mrs. And see it become a deep blue. The eyes become large enough jump out from the orbital. And, as has been tied to a chair, it has become impossible to be stuck there. Shoji Kobayashi youth supposed to be dead, and smiling to Hokoro base the dark face, because stood from the back of the ah ha 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 young man, except the face of Kageotoko. I laughed at people and throwing. Would have been surprised, however. This is not it. Kobayashi ghost it is a little while ago of the doctor. It is my subordinates, taking a false mustache and glasses. Dress Kobayashi of the clothes. The hair of my head had a solve changed, and a little makeup on the face. You become this kind of thing. This is what that disguise. I guess because it is the artisan of its way. Quote, Harugi wife nor Ninomiya wife. Fiddling mouth did not Fusagara. And, strange confidence to the bizarre man who calls himself at silhouette is felt to come more deepened. Well, this is that, this person in Kobayashi disguise. Back huku and face nigga. But was originally similar. And so become just like ta? Similar to really wonder. Laughter the way. Ninomiya Mrs. built the voice of admiration. However, it is difficult to simulate the voice. This guy is so does not have heard the voice of Kobayashi. But, also not that there is no hand in it. That does not resemble anyone. Quite the middle of the voice we put at in pure of Tokyo valve. You speak the middle of words nor in the countryside accent. In other words, it is a guy that of thousands of voice and tone of the greatest common divisor. This is the secret of the ninjas. This man I can kind of trick? You look to something talk. Quote, then, Kobayashi, a look-alike of young people. Closer to the Ninomiya Mrs. determinedly. Laughed grinning. His wife, when the first time Omanakaka in Asakusa bar, KKEI sang what? Kyushu accent had been taken into account minor to the Tokyo valve of tone. When Ninomiya Mrs. hear it, I began to laugh and hit the involuntarily hand. Well, I just like. Here not be why is so much imitated. It's a great talent. No, I is a fluke. Since my friends are a man of Kyushu and out, I tried to imitate the tone. The words are also, it was resemble quite well in Kobayashi youth. This disguise. Passing I was in front of your futari. Kageotoko began talking about plans for the future. This guy is just off now. As Kobayashi youth. I go back to the simple inn at Asahiya of Sanya. Now because it is 12 o'clock. If we skip the car. Okay, it has happened yet. And, of Kobayashi fellow gloss song nurses as of. Perhaps my still back home. On your guy's work. I also because continues to be up to 1 o'clock too. Then doing full. Go to would be 2 o'clock 3 o'clock. This man. Over a voice to the clerk of Asahiya. It leaves certainly back evidence. Then I search my room. But accustomed to things like that. At home you do not know at all. Do not be confused never. There ad hoc means. If, when the fellow is not returned to earlier, and the drunk was pretend. Do not even talk. I fall asleep laid the food on. If the fellow is not home, work is very easy. After all, sunk to bed earlier only myself. I cheat in a sleeping pretend. Then, from everyone got in bed, awake softly, we find the belongings of Kobayashi. It's what accounted some in the notebook, mimicking the Kobayashi of handwriting that is written in there. You write the okitagami to the piece of paper. If you do not find as if Kobayashi handwriting, does not matter, because you will not write the gloss song nurse's nanny so much character. It is to leave the okitagami in irresponsible poor pencil writing. Is it I met a friend because I found a good job. You guys a breakup wrote things like that. I hope if you put a fellow bedside, and it has escaped the inopened likely night, would disappear. Easy to handle as evidence that this Sin Kobayashi was alive until tomorrow morning. Conversely, you alibi of you is established. Did you can see. However, that alone cannot yet save. Although a man of the fellow will become live in okitagami, if there is a lover Kobayashi, because the guy is horrible that the love of Ichinen, the woman will only look for example go of Kobayashi. Then, in a sensitive nerve of the lover, does not necessarily also not kanzuka something. In order to prevent it, we will first, and whether there has been a lover to Kobayashi, it must be sniffed the extent of the vindictiveness of the woman. There is no trouble if you know and had easily given up. But when looking for a Shunambakaku Kobayashi, a figure which is a live Kobayashi, it is sometimes necessary to show it to the woman. To do this, this man, in this disguise, such as night toga evening was, I Mizaru 2 street in front of the woman's eyes. As much as possible what is the crowd. If you thought that the other party has noticed, hidden and quickly crowd, it will escape. That way, believe that woman is alive Kobayashi. You have to try to find even anywhere. Worry that harbor the suspicion that if not dead is not never. This is the way of making my alibi. Did you can see. Quote, Haruki wife had not a deeply, but a countenance that still none is peace of mind. I see, is a good way, be considered from the disguise of human finesse. The way will surely be successful. However, there are things another worry. What happens should I carcasses of Kobayashi, man alone the body, or it'll be crap completely hide. If you find dead, is not that become everything bad? Quote, it is really easy. Kageotoko are those who answered Kata Minajini, corpse concealment surgery. To casually answer of Kageotoko, even if both misses again, had been taken aback. For example, to hide the corpses whether you say you it's easy. Yes, there is no worry that absolutely is found. Moreover there is an extremely simple way. However, before embarking on it, one consultation is for you. But not first done this man to the early Sonya simple in if we do not. You, then. The Pearl River me to start at once. New Karam do not. And, contacts usual place. Quote, young man fully become a Kobayashi. Went out and bowed. Kageotoko from put off it. Refused a little. Was make a phone call to anywhere. It I was summoned another subordinates. I for corpse transportation, by the way, is a consultation that went a little while ago. But, Haruki misses quickly accept it. I think that money, and showed the goodness of intuition. It is good indeed you might guess. That's right, and me you karamonai so much to work for everyone. There should be always something. That, is money, in fact, is what you're in business this kind of thing. By walking around the Urakaido of life, seek out your money from there. To provide the knowledge and technology that I have, is my profession to the easy gain profit. It is a guy that sprung the upper front of the thief. Well, excuse me, with the mouth was sliding. We do not have that of you. Always from the one that is on the customer the thief and murderer. Gone to be rude was you. Please forgive me. Quote, both Mrs. and listen to it, have become been feeling worse. It is the beauty of the transvestite phantom had been attracted, although its arms before had been deeply trust. Heard that business bouncing the upper front of the thief and murderer. Was not the stomach without the creeps. Int the amount of money is? Haruki Mrs. put the bravado, asked casually. That's right, When was the case this is a rich man? But I or something 10 million toga 20 million. I because it is a woman in Mrs. Ye of much rich. Unreasonable it does not say. Ye of secret savings you collect if you were put up in the amount of degree that may be spending is 3 million yen, is divided by the number of members. You need enough alone 200,000 yen. If the amount of this much, without telling her husband, secret savings can become served from. I do not say is kakin. This is the last of the amount of money. In addition, by pulling the later, gimme something like that anymore. Do not never. Then this some even have each other takes on the big job. It is a busy body. In one of the incidents, but does not stingy imitate, such as catching after 3 million yen, do you know? Or, if oya, but are you sorry? And through the corpse, I turn off the ye and edge. How about, both misses looked at each other. But in order to save the destruction of a dozen people, is 3 million yen come to think of it was cheap. If the amount of much that, I thought I can make even without a very unreasonable, Haruki misses not do things like haggling regret Tereshiku. He replied to the effect that knowingly. So, Kageotoko is using the time until the men come to for the corpse transport. Both Mrs. opponent, in which began the lecture of the corpse concealment surgery. Since ancient times, murder culprit, for the corpse concealment surgery. If umir indeed has been a struggle. Soil, if shizumir in. Water digging a trace is left. Lifted, neck, torso, both hands, both feet and 6 in cutting what that is. To easily carry to far away if 1 o'clock became popular in the West so. That there is also a convenience to hide to get separated. And try to think well. There is no such a stupid means. Hit much to get separated. It is the same to be found. Indeed, although the corpse discrimination little bonerel, because it causes seated horrible sensation if also discovered in part. The police will be to investigate committed. After all culprit will be found is that Japan's falling apart incident. You will see everyone in the criminal is caught. Of only increasing the thing troubled world is the most stupid way. As you well a variety of ways to have been conceived. But most of the good is to become a corpse trace also abolished without. The most childish thing is the idea that they are burned the corpse in a large fireplace. Doing the famous scholar murder magic of Europe is this. It fails spectacularly, and the smell of the crematorium from the chimney of the fireplace. Because I noticed the people in the vicinity. This is also a really stupid way. There is also a hand that throw to the blast furnace. Also, put the corpse in the coffin. There is also a hand to feed to the crematory pretending the funeral. However, there is a strict vigilance in these places. Is not possible execution in compelling work conditions are not aligned. As well as it could be for example, must be affected very dangerous. As a method of corpse disappearance. There is also this kind of meet the sulfuric acid into the tank. It would dissolve with a corpse in it. Nothing even bone will melt without a trace. Once upon a time there miscreants who called homes in the United States. Built a fine murder palace with a tank of corpse dissolved. Have you the money by dissolving the people of many? Ridiculous it seems, but it really was. Of course, it was discovered by the police. Because it was so much doing majestically. It would not have entered the blind spot of the muscle. However, it has been decided to be a large-scale equipment nanny sulfuric acid tank. One is found. Again, stupid means. My corpse concealment surgery is not the kind of ridiculous things, if even noticed, is that extremely simple that can be to anyone. However, we must refrain from pointing able to talk about it specifically. Ye is a woman than anything, even though known to ruin of myself. In some cases, it is dominated by emotion. Not always even that there is no such thing as leaked the secret. In addition, since Mr. Haruki is older than me, but seems to say that there is no in luck, at the deathbed of the floor, be not to feel like to confess at all. Not a no. It is there such a thing. Is the ruin of my own. So, unfortunately, but you will not be able to talk about the details of my corpse concealment surgery. We use what is everywhere. In addition, its usage is really easy. That way, your corpse would completely vanished from this world. Corpse of Kobayashi. You do not have to worry about is discovered to anyone forever. My subordinates to now is driving a car. You come here. His men bring a large linen bag. We put the corpse of Kobayashi in jute bags. We put on the car. I also ride in the car. You hurry to a certain location. And, if tomorrow, corpse will disappear completely from the world, honorary of your promise, you will to after 1 month. The method of delivery is, please leave it to me. Also my own. In danger of no way to be absolutely you. Make sure you give me. It's too good purchase decisions keep together the 3 million yen definitely before. It was to understand. Cannot explain the corpse concealment method is a pity. But the fact that during the 1 month everything is also not occur. There is no addition to us believe in my ability. Did you can see. Quote, although both Mrs. was dubious and I wonder if there is such a good way. In a form which has been overwhelmed by the confidence of calmly to the other party that gave the grace of 1 month, was approved the offer of Kageotoko. Soon arrived automobile subordinates. Kageotoko is to ride with the dead bodies were placed hemp bag of Kobayashi. The car through the dark night. Where is the ran away without maybe. Good Naru landlord. Kageotoko is in many ways the name. The Shoho of the Tokyo metropolitan area had a lot of land, by funds obtained by his strange extortion occupation, in which purchased legally, many of the land, in the autumn land of 200 square meters 300 square meters, which became the ruins by the war. There is always the old well there. Was purchased in search of just Aki place with a kind of old wells. He is, to residents in the vicinity of each of the land, has been known as a prudent landlord, because the old well in the autumn place is dangerous. To say that I'm going to become one filled, to carry the soil in the track. I had been raised bloom near the well. That night, automobile topped with Kobayashi of corpses, arrived in the autumn location of the farthest Ogu from Yoyogi among them the land. The vehicle stops turn off the headlights. In a very lonely place. Houses far away. Because things let alone late at night. There was no worry to be mitigame to people. The Kageotoko and subordinates, hanging from both the jute bags of corpse filled. Through hurry, the jute bags to the bottom of the well to the old well in the middle of the autumn ground. Then, in the shovel, which has been prepared, drop to each other's soil to liven up beside the well. Try a flashlight. Hemp bags has continued it until no visible at all. This first stage work was finished. It did not take enough from down the hemp bag from the car. It is a really simple task. He was not a lie that was Kogan in front of both wife. What that would be handy corpse processing method. The two visit is back to the car. Also, disappeared in the darkness. Not both the Izuku, but it had still remains the treatment of the second stage. The next morning, Kageotoko is to Aki areas of Ogu. Landlord was Gen while the appearance becomes Seiji Watanuki. Wearing a cloak torsion kimono is a cuckoo that small rich man wearing a soft himawari walk in the land autumn. Looks into the old well, and make sure that did not have anything of omission. I asked the master of the house of work teacher of the land. And this master there is also the relationship became care when you purchase the estate. Is a relationship of acquaintance. Since that early in the morning, master is still in the house. It came out to the front door. Watanuki of Kageotoko is, while standing at the bottom of the dirt floor. The lid Katomi. After you have pulled the greeting nonchalant. Entered the immediately requirements. Master, I bought my land of this earlier, but became much for everything. We decided to put up for sale if there's a situation now. So well, I want to show to the buyer after a little terrain. as soon as possible in one place. You will not get to do a prime if you can, but I want you to start even from today. Quote, Yogasu. Just now those young handmaid or two, because we 3 people, if into the immediately let's take ground prime. It will become filled. You also that old well. I intend to fill, but I just had carried soil. Was attached become the left. Of course. I want to fill in. Because it is well not any way out of the water. I was aware of. It. Go to the site to go a show. And an estimate of the earth prime. Let immediately carry the soil to gravel shop. Watanuki returns to land. Autumn brought the master. But meeting in of the earth prime scale. Master will make a quick calculation in order to make a phone call to the gravel shop. When Hikeshi to home. After a while, alone young Shigotoshi came doing in Katsui a shovel. Sir, good morning. Master is listening to the husband. It is that well because I called the come fill the old well. Since the soil as I are prepared properly, it divided there is no will be immediately filled. Let's. Although this area is very much a child is such a good do not come to play. Is a dangerous pitfalls. That's right. I nay even if it is worrisome. The fence around it torn. Entered someone here. I think sorry is not once you have also fallen. But I wish I could be filled more quickly. It is really so. Well, we'll do early. Toko 1. Dashing young people. Break a pile of soil with a shovel to go to as it is near the old well. I went down the soil into the well. And 4. And even 50 minutes. Deep wells had completely buried. Watanuki of Kageotoko is between them. Or walk the autumn land. With or come back to go to buy cigarettes to a nearby tobacco shop. It is to live a fill in the blank did not leave the scene. By the time the old well was filled about 2/3. Masters brought another young man. Had come to the tired land. Then, or hit the pile to here and there. With her stretched nawa, he began preparing for the earth prime. However, it was not necessary to have seen such a thing as to Watanuki. When the filling has been completed. But master of the better was still the middle of the work. Master, because the rest is led. Nani Buna because my best regards to the hour and minute. Place prime was finished. Also come to see. When, in advance over the voice. It withdrew its place it in a hurry. This is also the end treatment of the second stage of the corpse concealment. Is that all have been completed? Since the depth of the old well had about 4 meters. Even if the land is also over the hand. As long as you do not build in a building with a basement. There was no worry about that corpses dug up. Watanuki said, to the other party. Such as building a building. Will never sell the estate. No. During which he is alive. Perhaps this land, it will not be sold to any buyer. Kageotoko is Haruki. When you let the corpse concealment lecture in Ninomiya wife, in the most elementary of the means is to fill in the soil. But was said to be easy discovered. It is that if you dig a bother hole to fill the corpse met. Digging a hole, if again it, even if hidden no matter how skillfully, eventually was found traces of digging by the color of the earth. The beginning of the revelation. In addition to or buried or dug, it takes a long time. For that kind of work to avoid the public eye is also very difficult. People why will not think vice versa. Cunning of Kageotoko had originated from thinking the reverse of all products. His business that the flip side of the human quest was to explore the reverse of the clogging material. And from such thinking, even if as he this, requiring not that the dig, was also searching for such things as filled openly fill. Then, it was discovered a great place that old wells him of water. When he got the idea, in order to prepare for the case of something, it was thought to want to prepare some of the old well. Then, immediately embarked on a run, widely turned the hand, and ransacked the autumn destination with a full well. I went to get their land with funds obtained in the extortion business. It is the one of which was standing in the roll now. Land as it is yours. Much effort, and expensive without spending. Is the 3 million yen came tumbling murder company. Explore the mysterious Kageotoko to the core business of extortion to use the crime by the experience of exploring the back of the world. Sagawa published a crime novel in the pen name Shunde. Already is that you are very much gaining popularity. That was the document request form or document fee of sending is. In each case, Tokyo is Tomeoki of the post office, which unlike of Tokyo, used had not received this. It had to hard secret the identity of the Sagawa Shunde. Of this bizarre Naru confidentiality, the popularity of him for was also above that there is growing. Further, Kageotoko is, or Hayami Shokichi, or Ayazawa Kenichiro, or Seiji Watanuki, as so of the person, from those of the occasional use, but had received the general delivery mail, in which, these days, as of every time, a strange letter from a certain person has been mixed. Its wording is always in the general similarity. Here look like until replying has solidified determination to continue to relentlessly posting. Now to illustrate the one mail. I love reader of your novel. However, not a nami readers. If you meet, it is the reader. Such as surely have a great interest the destination of this letter. We heard from the magazine Black Hat editorial department. Once only Futari with you. I'd like to secretly meet. Sure if meet there is a benefit to you also. Of course. Also has interest in more of me. In fact, about the strange things that I'd like to rent your wisdom. Instead, it is the better of me. And because the strange thing, I would like to talk to you. It may be who use it in the material of the novel. Indeed kikakaikai, are such things as surprising and indeed of you also up. If us forgive the meeting, the place the same general delivery this letter. Please let us know the date and time. Your telephone number of the better of. Location meeting by telephone. Bureau Detention Tadashi Sahara. Sagawa Shunde like. Such a letter. To one of about half a month. Ranged from a total of 10 copies. Shunde of Kageotoko was interested in this tenacity. Although the letter is often from readers of such a personality was less. It became a feeling that with let's meet any guy once. As you say the other party wrote only the date and time and phone number, and keep every general delivery to the time of the day. Incoming exactly telephone. At that time, Kageotoko is in the name of Hayami Shokichi. It was in the apartment with a Kojimachi. I is Sagawa Shunde. But good to meet you, and you where is the location? There is a small dark bar called La Cook on the back Ginza. Hey was a partition in there. I have a room that became a separate room like. Time let's say it today 9. Speaking of 9 o'clock. Again crowded bar it is Tadashi. But rather for the better is safe. Quote. Alright, well, to 9 o'clock, let's go there. Driving directions is. Men tell the driving directions. I was hung up the phone. Shunde of Kageotoko is just 9 o'clock, and turned up the bar. He went into the dim basement. We are coming people that Sahara. Master seems middle-aged man of the stand. In answer to this, a feeling, such as the inner shrine, showed it refers to a dark place. I do not the door. If you were able to partition half wall, so is not visible from the front of the visitors of the stand. Their spaced elongated table was facing low long chairs and armchairs. In the corner of the long chair, dressed in black clothes, the lean small man had perched sitting. Sahara's is. Yes, it is Sagawa teacher. Shunde was sat down face to face to Sahara. Sahara is called the boy. Ordered a highball. He looked like tobacco. Tobacco ash Zara 5. It had accumulated 6 this. Shunde also lit the fire, put out the cigarette. I do not hear anyone even talking in a normal voice. If to hear, it's all right. From Shirit, we decided to hear. Let's hear a story. Since the highball came to each other, in each other a little sacrifice wearing a mouth. Sagawa-san, you it is not just a novelist. then you are also enough imagination from those made in your writing. We are somewhat also examine the things you. So, the secret is that each other customers what it is not able to talk here also with confidence. Quote, Sahara and name Rideman. As can be seen in this Hanashibori, looked like a man quite sharp head. It has a pale face of the tapered surface. A force in the small reluctance not likely. But this kind of man is terribly by thick liver. Often have the sharpness, such as a razor. Year 35, seemed to 6. Were right and when. Shunde also guard did not. It's 3 people of fellow. I have to make that kind of company. Among them alone is a woman. Will match any you pull. We are folded here. No, this is me alone. Here the master does not have acquaintance separately. Not to worry. In businesses, we are, because you have you secret no more or less even. Here also confess to some extent secret. The secret is it a promise to adhere to each other. Understood. Actually, I have a wish containing cage. For it, I do not know and does not explain the nature of our company. This is we do not confide it to lover to his wife. The absolute of only 3 people because it is a secret. If at that you going, speak to you, you will be only 4 people know all over the world. If Marais even Koripachi, life of the person will be immediately lost. Did you understand? Since the better of the table power shoe is doing the music, Boso voice of Sahara was as much as difficult to hear even Shunde. It is Tagi's secret societies. Is well, yes. However, not referred to as a society. We say with a company. In addition, it is not even in the ideological union. In fact, we profit-making company. Of course, not the company was registered. Intended to profit so, is why it is called the selfishness company. Speaking of the name of the company, will know almost all of the secret. That is the biggest secret. However, this way you call freshly with more. It have to say, you cannot talk, because you is a crime novelist. But you will not also be much surprised. Please listen to calm down the mind. Quote, Sahara is where embarking the body before much. Whispered to the mouth to Sukin Bakar the ears of Shunde. It's murder contracting company. His mouth was unusually large. Only lips and pale face was bright red. This paleness is not because of the sickly. Well, what physiognomy of the born murderer? To be continued. Thank you for your viewing. If you like, please subscribe to the channel. I am very encouraged.